Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're back again with another show. Let's get that posture cranked up. Grab ourselves a refreshment of our choice. Let's get serious. This episode is brought to you by Spade. Spade, 0 sugar, 0 calories, all natural, 6 flavors, cola, yuzu, lime, it's my favorite, guava, blueberry, acai, kiwi, strawberry, Dr. Spade. Only 6 ingredients, including water, sweetened with the most premium form of stevia on the market, no bitter aftertaste, caffeine-free, dye-free, added electrolytes for a hydration benefit, just as healthy as a sparkling water and just as flavorful as a traditional soda. And also, this episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. It's so simple. Go to the App Store, download PrizePicks, pick more or less on your favorite players in the NBA, NHL, UFC for a chance to win 100 times your money. Available in states like Texas, California, 30 more, plus Canada. For new users that use code TIMBO when you sign up, place a $5 lineup and you get $50 instantly. No strings attached. It's pretty fun. Makes watching sports really fun, even if you're doing a few bucks here and there. Makes it fun, makes it a good time. We got Big Mike Perry. He's straight from Mexico with his new poncho from his movie. It's looking good. So let's get started. Fuck yeah, dude. Thanks for traveling home, getting home right away. I know you want to probably just chill out and you jumped on the pod with me, so thanks a lot, bro.
That was such a chill intro. It like changed the mood completely. That was fire, man. Thanks. It's good to be here. I haven't talked to you in a while.
What's your new show called? The podcast.
Dirty Boxing Championship. New.
Yes.
I've been doing Overdogs podcast for about a year now. We've had a few good episodes, more than a few.
Hell yeah. Before we get into talk about the new Dirty Boxing Championships, I'm pumped to talk about that. I want to talk a little bit about the old Mike Tyson, Jake Paul throwing down. We talked to Jake Paul yesterday, and he said he's weighing around 224 pounds, and the rounds are 2 minutes, and there's 14-ounce gloves. What do you think about that?
I think so. I've seen some things that Mike Tyson has been saying on video, and he seems really sharp mentally. Seems like Mike Tyson is just, he hasn't skipped a beat and getting back in the ring and fighting. I always think about the Evander Holyfield versus Vitor Belfort. Now, we saw what happened there. Vitor just destroyed Holyfield. It was unfortunate. He really looked his age in there, but Mike Tyson looks really good on the mitts, and they're only doing 2-minute rounds, which is interesting. And Jake said something about $5 million if Mike can last 5 rounds with him, or he gets an I Love Jake Paul tattoo. I thought that was interesting, and I hadn't heard a rebuttal from Mike Tyson, so I don't know about that bet.
Yeah, it seems like there's a bunch of different rumors floating around. 14-ounce gloves. I mean, Jake weighing 224. That's pretty big, dude. I'm wondering how he's going to be carrying around that extra weight. I mean, it looks like he naturally walks around about 200. So putting on about 24 pounds.
Well, I know he cut to 200 when he fought me, but I thought he was maybe cutting from like 212. And putting on that much weight, but he's got a good team around him, and they're pretty scientific with it about how they've gone about his ability to gain, talent in the boxing ring. And it'll be an interesting fight for sure. I saw when Mike Tyson fought Roy Jones, it looked like Mike didn't skip a beat then either. Like, he was as sharp as ever.
Yeah, he looked pretty sparky. I mean, 58 years old now. I'm so curious, like, in the lifestyle that dude's lived, I wonder what his testosterone levels are. I wonder if he's able to get on a little bit of special sauce. I mean, that would only make it fair.
Yeah, when I fought Jake, so I was undefeated 6-0 as far as the last 3 years, and then I fought Jake. It was the first time I hadn't been drug tested.
Really?
They tested me for all my fights except for the Jake Paul fight. But I heard maybe no excuses. I spar, train with people that are on the juice, but they didn't test me at a fight of that magnitude against a fighter as important as Jake Paul is to the system they've got set up and going. So I was surprised to not get tested. And I heard the shit, if he's on some shit, it's so good they can't test for it anyways.
Damn. And I mean, the fight's going down in Texas, and we talked to Jake yesterday a bit, and he said they're going to have full testing panels. So I'm like, damn, that's crazy. Mike Tyson, 58, dude. His testosterone, he is a freak of nature. He really is. But having as many concussions as he has, as doing as much booger sugar as he has in the past, his testosterone can't be through the roof.
Does Cialis count? Now, you're a good coach, Tim. So do you know about that detail? Does Cialis count? You can't do it a couple nights before the fight, but you'll still pass the test, or
I think it matters. Yeah, I think it matters what commission. What commission they're doing and who tests and who doesn't. So, little Cialis get you revved up. Damn, that's going to be wild, dude. First boxing match live on Netflix, but we got some good smooth call-outs here. First, I want to talk about what happened with that whole Conor thing when he said you're fired?
Listen, that motherfucker hasn't fought in how long? You know what I mean? And that kind of leads. Somebody sent me some shit today about him in the news, but it might have been an old thing about, I don't even want to mention that shit. It's pretty bad. So I don't even want to talk about that. But I do want to beat up his friend and see if, after I beat up Dylan Danis, I think that fight just makes a lot of sense for me. Bare knuckle keeps pushing. I was told maybe before the end of the year, then I was told January, then I was told, it might get pushed. So I don't know what they're doing. I do have 3 fights that Conor can't fire me. That's not how that shit works. I have a contract. People watch bare knuckle when I fight. And, so I just think the MAMS, what do they call it? Misfits MMA. That's a possibility. And Dylan Danis has just been out there talking. I said, I got more wins in the last 3 years than he has in his career of fighting. So, I think that fight in MMA makes a lot of sense. He'll get the chance. He says people don't want to fight him in MMA because he's got the submissions. And I think that fight makes a lot of sense. So if I beat up Dylan Danis, maybe Conor will get back in the ring and try to fight for his buddy. Is he going to do a bare knuckle fight first, or would he come straight to just fight me in bare knuckle? People don't want to fight me in bare knuckle. That's another thing too. All these guys have said no to fighting me in bare knuckle. So, I can't seem to get a fight there. And coming off the Jake Paul boxing match, it was just quite different. And it was, I want to get back in the ring and get back to training if I know what I'm going to be doing. That's an important part of it, because I got a lot of good MMA guys, but it's like, if I'm not going to do MMA, I don't need to train MMA. I need to train boxing for bare knuckle boxing. Or if I think the Dylan Danis fight makes a lot of sense, I could go train with some really good guys at Fusion XL, Lyoto Machida, T-Rex, Terrence McKinney, Philly Fresh, Alex the Spartan, some really good MMA guys over there that I can work with. And I'd love to punch Dylan Danis in his face. Man, that'd be a good time.
Man, I think old Dildo Danis, he would get a lot of respect for taking a fight with you, but I truly don't believe he will. And when it comes to bare knuckle, you're the king of bare knuckle. And if there's, I don't think there's any way. There's obviously got to be a way, but I don't think there's a way that Conor McGregor fights you bare knuckle either. I don't. Even if you pound the puss right off Dylan Danis, I don't think he's gonna fight you either. But it would be sweet. It would be sweet.
Another one somebody's been telling me to call out, and this guy keeps hitting me up, and I don't know if he's real or if he's retarded or what the fuck is going on. Not saying that there's nothing wrong being retarded. You're fine, I'm a little retarded sometimes. It's okay.
Yeah.
But this guy is like, I should fight Bobby Lashley. What do you think about that? I think I punched the bald head off of him.
Yeah, he'll come out there and swat a couple haymakers at you, and I don't think he's going to be able to pack enough punch to actually hurt you. I know he's a big dude, but he probably doesn't know how to punch properly. Bare knuckle? Are we talking, or MMA?
Well, that's interesting, right? Do they want to do it? See, does Bobby Lashley and his team want to make this fight with me where it's WWE technically is bare knuckle? We would just, I wouldn't sign the shit that says I gotta lose. I'm gonna try to win. I'm gonna fight you. So, or we got BKFC, and we got to figure out the weight class, or MMA. Like, that's what I'm saying is, like, going back to my MMA roots, I had a lot of skill there, and career path just kind of went crazy. And now I have all these things in my basket going on. I got the Fight League, I got the podcast, make a movie out there in Mexico. Shout out Viva Mexico. Guadalajara, Jalisco was incredible. But don't go if you don't got Special Forces Seguridad.
Mm-hmm. You eat some nice street tacos down there. How many days were you filming that movie?
I worked 15 hours yesterday without fucking eating. And then the last scene we did was so I was in like a lowrider, and then we had the whole neighborhood. We were in the hood, and we had like 50 people out there helping us with this scene. And then we was all so hungry. There was 14 of us, and we were so hungry. We hadn't eaten for hours. And then there was a taco. We thought it was a taco shop, right? And we go over and we see hot dogs wrapped in bacon. And then we look across the street, and there's another, and it's got a line of families. They're all waiting to eat. It was the taco shop. We went across the street. We ordered 90 tacos. They were little tacos. We had the El Pastor, carne asada, chorizo, and something else. They didn't have pollo. And they had the fresh chopped onions and cilantro and the hot sauces, man. I must have ate 10 tacos out of the 90. They were pretty good, man.
Yeah, thank God you didn't get a little bit of food poisoning down there. But okay, so we got. Sorry.
Hold on. Because Guadalajara was beautiful, man. It's very Americanized, but we did have security, and I believe we had to pay for permission. So I was there for 2 days, but we had the people I was with. I believe we paid the narcos for each day, going around filming in areas that they control. And so, not knowing about it, but then they told me this morning when taking me to the airport that, they paid the gangsters. They're the government. The cartel is the government down there, and they have rules and shit. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been rolling around Mexico with a convoy of vehicles the way that we were without their permission.
Damn. Yeah, that's pretty badass. Back to the Jake Paul thing real quick. So if someone gave you $100K to bet on that fight, what are you betting happens?
That's so tough, dude. Because Jake's good, and they're not 3-minute rounds. They're 2-minute rounds. Is Mike Tyson gonna let him punch himself out a little? Let Jake punch himself out a little bit? Because he has a better chance of defense. His defense is obviously better, and we got to think about that too. Like, I stepped in for Mike Tyson I lost that fight, but I got up. I was ready to. I was just getting mad. I was really getting mad. I wanted to get after him, but I stumbled. I'm rooting for Mike Tyson. I think Mike Tyson looks incredible. He sounds really smart. He sounds like his mind is on the right path as far as winning a fight goes, and I think he's going to be. His talent is one of a kind. So, Jake's done really well. He's got a great team around him, but I don't know if he bit off more than he can chew. So I'm rooting towards Mike Tyson.
So 100 G's, you're throwing it on Mikey Tyson.
See, when you say it like that, I'm like, damn, I should put the 100 G's on Jakey Paul.
Yep.
He's young. He can take a punch. He's young, man. Yeah. I hit him a couple times. He took that shit.
And this video is brought to you by VIIA Hemp. Now, it's some of the best products out there. They have daily drops with 1 milligram of THC, 25 milligrams CBD, 25 milligrams of CBG, and it ships discreetly straight to your door, so no one's got to know about it. They got all forms of gummies. These are Cloud9. There's 50 milligrams of full spectrum CBD in these, 5 milligrams of Delta 9 THC. These are the ones I really like when it's on the weekends. I'm wanting to let my hair down a bit. Dreams, 30 milligrams full spectrum CBD, 10 milligrams THC, 15 milligrams of CBN, and these ones will give you some serious sleep. But they have flour, they have gummies, they have everything you need. That's VIIA Hemp. Check them out. Links in the bio, and they'll give you a nice little discount. Everyone I've given these edibles to, they really enjoy them. Jake also said he offered Sean Strickland $1 million to come spar him, and Sean Strickland wouldn't do it. What do you think would go down in that little sparring match?
Sean's a powerful guy. But it was a little shocking that he didn't want to go do it. But obviously the way that Jake had to want to set that up was where he flies Sean out. He's got all his team, his 25 people there with him in Puerto Rico, and Sean's got who? Himself? Mm-hmm. I went and I sparred Jake in Miami and all his team. I brought my wife and my newborn son and his Duna. And I sparred Jake. Jake was hitting me in the beginning, but I came back because I was experienced fighter. I can take the damage and then come back. But he got a little better since then. And oh man, I lost track a little bit.
No,
wait. Yeah, so Sean Strickland.
Yep.
Sean's powerful, and we've seen some videos of him, and he works a lot with Pereira, but Jake Paul was calling Pereira out. He thinks his boxing skills are capable against a guy like that at that length and all these things, all the attributes that Pereira has. Sean Strickland's a little wild, and he throws like even hammer fists while boxing, and we've seen him sparring videos of him sparring pro boxers, and he's clocking them pretty good. Sean's a tough son of a gun, dude. So I don't know why he didn't take that $1 million.
And a free jet to pick him up. He said he'd give him a private jet.
Jake's got the movement though. He'll use his feet. He'll play the points. He jabs the body. He'll see those big winging shots coming. So I don't know. I guess we just have to make it happen, set it up after if Jake beats Mike Tyson, he's got to fight either Pereira or Strickland, or he could fight me in MMA and PFL, because we saw me throw him on his head and he was bleeding a little bit, and I'd have been punching on him in a street fight. Come on, man. Nobody wants to fight me bare knuckle. If it's a street fight, that's my stuff.
I mean, yeah, you can't blame him. They're going to need the rules to protect him when it comes to that versus you. But he's 100% confident that when he beats Mike Tyson, that he's going to call out Canelo at 200 pounds, and he's pretty confident he's going to make that happen.
Oh.
200
That's
pounds.
that's cool, man. That's really great. Apparently 3 years ago he was like, "What do you guys think about me fighting Mike Tyson?" And now he's doing it. So I don't know if Canelo's going to be old enough in 3 years, though.
Yeah, 200 pounds too. Canelo only walks around about 5'7". 5'7". I think the heaviest he's.
Why not? Why ain't he calling out Bivol?
Yeah.
Or why not take it a step further with Better Beef?
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. Okay, so you got the new fight promotion coming up, and it's Dirty Boxing Championships. Is that going to be a similar rule set to that? Was it Triller who did it with the triangle ring and the puffies?
Okay. Yes, I fought in Triller. I fought a boxer. Shout out Michael Seals, man. He's a hard worker. He knocked a few people out since we fought. But so it's a little, that was BKFC with padded gloves on. This will be, MMA gloves. They made them the pad. I kind of wanted them to make them the UFC gloves that they just changed to the new UFC. I didn't want the new UFC gloves. I wanted the ones that they changed.
Yeah.
The old ones that I fought in. But we have a nice little 5-ounce glove. It's been designed and put together, and it's going to be like BKFC boxing, and you can utilize the clinch. You can grab and punch, but we have elbows, which is incredible to have boxing with elbows. And if you knock your opponent down with a shot, you can follow it to the ground to finish the fight. We want these fights finished. We want finishing fights, guys winning and in great fashion. We want these fights to be finished and someone to win ground and pounding their opponent out, drop them with a shot, ground and pound them, but you can defend. If you go down, you can try to pull guard or up kick to the body or the chest, not the face. You can push off with your feet, and you will have shoes. And I haven't seen the outfits that we're doing. They have been designing. I don't know if we're gonna have like old school capris, like back in the early 1900s. They boxed with like pants on.
At Karate Combat.
But not full pants. But Karate Combat has full length pants. Our pants, I don't think are going to be that long. I think they're going to be much shorter. And, so and we're supposed to have some really good fights on the card. I'm excited to see it come together. November 23rd is our first private show. Will be filmed, but will not be streamed. We're just giving it a go. We put a lot of money into this to not make any money on the first private show. We have a lot of backers, a lot of supporters, and a lot of money has been put into this. So it's being grown and put together in all the right ways by all the best people. We had Ariel Helwani talking about it yesterday, and he threw me up there for a short clip. And, while I was busy making a movie in Mexico. So I'm really excited. Miami is going to be where the show is. Our subscribers that have sent their emails in probably have received emails to where the event will be, what time, this and that, and, how to show up. So I'm really excited to see this show come together, and it's all happening here soon.
How long are the rounds and how many?
3 3-minute rounds. Main event will be 5 3-minute rounds.
And who did you sit down with and come up with this rule set?
My guy Ice Bags on Overdog's podcast.
Ice Bags, huh?
Ice Bags. He owns and runs Kenpai Pandas and Kenpai Media, and Kenpai Pandas is an NFT project. Shout out RTR. Y'all go get you some RTR, which is Restore the Republic. We've been working with Donald Trump Jr. and other things. Donald Trump Jr.'s wife and some other Republican Party members, and and we're getting real political. We're getting real strong with the business moves, and I'm learning. I'm learning a lot, and I'm trying to stay focused and do things the best that I can with the knowledge I have.
Yeah, dude, fucking badass. I'm looking forward to watching it. So you guys are it's just going to be a private show. Private show. You're not going to be able to stream it anywhere. Just getting the feet wet and getting used to running a show.
And we will come out with the videos. We're I'm assuming that we're hoping for some great highlights, and then it will be strategic of how we place that on social medias, and let the world see a little bit of dirty boxing, make them want more of it, and want to stream and buy the events. This is all hearsay. For now, we're just excited to have a nice group of special guests come out and enjoy a great night of combat sports in a totally new combat sport.
Yeah, dude, I'm pumped. What do you say, War?
Do you have your main event announced yet?
No, we don't have the main event announced, but it is supposed to be this name that I cannot release.
Surprise.
But if he fights, we're gonna blow the roof off of combat sports. If he fights in this rule set, we did have
let me make some guesses.
We were gonna get Sergio Pettis to fight my boy Thiago Bananina. They were gonna pay Thiago pretty good for fighting Sergio Pettis, but that one fell through. So because that one fell through, Thiago Bananina is still on the card. That's my boy. Shout out Fusion XL. He's got an opponent. I mean, there's about 9 or 10 fights on the card, and the main event should blow the roof off combat sports. And maybe we'll get O'Malley in there someday when he's done with the UFC. I don't know if he ever will be. He's done pretty well for himself, man. Shout out Sean O'Malley. Tell him I said what's up.
Fuck yeah, I will. We just ended up getting a farm. We got a big farm that's combined. Like, so he's got 5.5 acres, and it's connected to my 2 acres. So we're gonna have our animals, our chickens, our cows, and be able to eat straight off the land.
Yeah, how is that, man? I saw the videos talking about he named his cow, and then they're eating Betty or whatever her name was.
It's Tammy.
Tammy, and is she delicious?
She was decent. You know what? I think when they butchered her or whatever, they added a little bit too much fat to it. So I mean, he likes the meat a lot, but I'm not a huge fan. But
was it trying to be Wagyu?
It was a fat cow, so I think it was maybe 50% Wagyu.
Okay.
So Mikey, if you could go back and give your 20-year-old self some advice, what would you give him right now?
Ooh. I always thought that I wouldn't change anything. I wouldn't do things different. I had some tough but when it comes to my fights and the ones that I wish I could have won, or I lost 6 decisions in the UFC, and I don't know. I would tell myself to take more time, be more patient, but no, you don't want to just keep your head down all the time. Sometimes you got to fucking speak up. And I'm doing really well in life. I have a beautiful family, and I'm making money, and I'm building something that's going to live a long time. So, I'm proud of everything that I have going on, and I don't know if I would do it different, but if I could go back, I just want to win more of those fights.
Yeah, those decisions. If you could go back to one fight and have a rematch, one fight for the rematch, who would it be?
Cowboy Cerrone.
Yep.
He groomed me. He fucking groomed me. No diddy.
Did he really?
He did, bro. I was there. He was at my debut on 202. I met him at the fucking, the fighter media day. And he's like saying things like, "Oh no, man, I don't want none of the young gun." And then I come to Jackson Wink. I get some training with John Jones and the team at Jackson Wink, Greg Jackson and Winkle John and
Frank, right?
Cowboy comes in. What's that?
Frank, you were training with the Frank guy, right?
Frank the Tank. Yep. Frank the Tank, man. I did some training with him, and I went there and I beat Paul Felder, and then I got the Cowboy fight, and Frank came to Florida, Orlando, and he brought me back to Jackson Wink to train some more and fight more. But I was like, man, Cowboy's always been at Jackson Wink. I felt like I should train at my team in Florida for that one. I might have done that one a little differently. And I sparred Cowboy, and I was hitting him with some shit. I was stopping his takedowns, and then we did some training one day. He took me on the boat, and he was like, so I got up on the waterboard once, and then when I fell, because I tried to surf without the rope, I don't know how to do that. When I fell, every time I was trying to get back up on the board, he started driving the boat. So I'm hanging on one hand and I can't get on the fucking board. And like, I'm trying to get up on this damn board. You got to get your feet under it and into the water before you can even get up. And I'm like, dude, I'm gassed. I'm gassed out. I can't do it. It reminded me so much of jiu-jitsu. And then we go back and I'm waiting to train, and he pulls out all these mushrooms. And then I eat one in front of him because nobody's eating them. We're all just standing there looking at the fucking bag of mushrooms. I'm like, give me one. And then as soon as I eat it, chew it, he's like, oh, well, we're not training now. I'm like, why not? And then we trained another time, and I grappled him for like 23 minutes. And he was too good. I mean, Cowboy's fucking good black belt, dude. But he never threw a submission on me. He never tried to submit me. He was just holding his gas tank, and I was teaching him all about me. He was learning all about me. He was grooming me. And then, when we fought, I wasn't able to hit him with the shit that I had hit him with when I was sparring, when I was pulling my punches, when I wasn't really trying to hurt him. And then he pointed me good, and then he made it where I even took him down. I got out and back on top when he took my back. I got back on top, and I fucking stayed there in his guard. And he threw that arm bar, and I thought about when I slammed him, if it was a street and I slammed him on his head, it would have been more effective. Or I remember right before the fight, they were like, no spiking. So as I pick him up, I could have picked him up higher. I could have fucking made the finish pickup. But as I picked him up, I'm like, oh, they said no spiking. So I dropped him back down right away. I didn't put my weight into the arm bar.
Yep.
Hearsay. Yeah, classic mistake, man. Cowboy did a good job. I'm happy for him or whatever, but I would like to have that fight again. And then he talked about BKFC like he would do that shit. Go make your movies, bro. You ain't ready to fight in real fight with me.
Yeah, well,
bare knuckle boxing match.
Yeah, bare knuckle fuck. I mean, probably not. But he said he wants to come back to the UFC for a couple more.
What's Dana say about that? No, hell no.
Yeah, he said, nah, I didn't like that shit. But you see this Ilia Topuira guy, you think anybody can beat him?
He had an amazing fight with Max. Max was doing great. He looked good. But Ilia was going to the body. Ilia's big punches coming up top. He was putting the pressure. He was taking some hits. He showed that he's got heart and chin. Obviously, he's been hit and knocked down once in the UFC, and he won that fight. And he's still undefeated after having some difficulties. And he's got some good power, and he's a really good wrestler. And I see him talking about him fighting Islam Makhachev. I don't know if he's big enough, and Islam's been pretty good as champion. He's He's been more than pretty good. He's the number one pound for pound guy. I think I don't really think I see that he's the number one pound for pound guy, but the sport has changed so much, with Marab, with Ilia. We're seeing these guys that we knew for all these years to be these greats. Like no one finished Max, and then Max got finished. Like it's just father time, I guess, catches all of us. Mike Tyson's about to show us something about that, though. Either father time gets his ass, or he's like, "Bitch, I'm Mike fucking Tyson. You thought this shit was different."
Yeah, no shit. It's going to be fire. Well, Elon said the new Tesla bots came out, and those bots can do some household chores, do your dishes. I don't know if they can do your laundry quite yet. You going to get yourself a little Tesla bot when they come out? Little slave?
I did see there was a robot on wheels. I don't think it was a Tesla bot. It was in the laundry room, and it was folding the laundry, doing the laundry.
I think they call it Roombas. Oh, no. Roombas?
It wasn't. Isn't that a damn vacuum?
Yeah, that's the robot vacuum.
Okay, but so I got a couple of Roombas.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm putting a robot in this house with my wife.
Yeah.
I've seen some memes where the robot's going crazy, tearing that shit up. I ain't doing that unless, yeah, no. And she won't let me have a female robot. I don't think that's a thing.
Yeah, well, it probably will be a big tit Latina female robot. Probably will be one day, but not quite yet. You keep up with the election much?
I do want to get one of his cabs, though. The Tesla taxi cab that is fully automated, has no steering wheel, and will go work for you throughout the day. Apparently they're 30 or 40,000 and they'll be available soon. My car currently, I have the Tesla X model plaid, and it's I have the smart summon on there, so I'll pull it out of the garage, or I'm using that thing all the time. But
that's a nice rig.
I've actually my license has been suspended for that recent video that I had
that
on
little
TMZ.
Yeah, the little flare up you had with the old officers there. But did you have to spend the night in the old pen?
Yeah, I did.
Mm-hmm. Woke up, they got you bailed out and got it handled. Because what were you driving? What car were you driving? Was that the X that you were driving there?
No, I was driving the G63 that I have, and I was, I think it was just loud and I fast. When I took off from the light, the acceleration was quick. I don't think I was speeding like that. I might have been doing like 5 over. But it was that I took off quick and it was loud. And then I was mad when they asked me to get out of the car because, whatever.
Yeah.
But
yeah. And well, at least you got it handled and got it taken care of.
Well, I'm working on that, but my wife's been driving me around. I've been passenger prince for a little bit now. It's been kind of nice. I get to cause I always drove, and I'm like, oh, you've been living it up over here in the passenger seat.
Hell yeah. You ever hit one of the Ubers once in a while?
Yeah, Lyft, actually. I use Lyft.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Lyft Black. And but I know you asked me about the politics.
Oh yeah, did you watch any? You've been keeping up with it a bit?
I was in Mexico on the election day. And I know Trump won. So I'm happy about that. I think, and the first thing I saw was that he is halted Hamas. I hit up Bully B. Shout out Bully B. I'm like, what are your thoughts on this? Because they're talking about Hamas, but it's like, what do you say about Israel? Israel's been bombing. And he's like, what it was Biden was providing the bombs or the weapons and that Israel was using and pretty much giving free reign to make these things happen. Possibly that's what was happening. And Trump is putting a stop to it right away. Like there's not going to be any more issues because people are going to respect Trump. And And I don't know what the left was doing. I don't know what the liberals, the blue Democrats, I don't know what they were doing, letting in millions of people, open borders. Not to say that there's, it's just the criminals and stuff. And like my brother lives in Colorado. It wasn't far from his place where Venezuelan gangs took over apartment complexes and I'm just grateful Kamala didn't get voted in, and because they would have kept that same regimen, the blue and the the celebrity pedophilia stuff that we're hearing about, the Diddy parties and like all these people that were backing them, and Epstein, and like what happened at the end of Trump's term? They arrested Epstein. Like, I know that they've tried to say that Trump was there too, but it's like he was doing the groundwork to get these people put away, in my opinion. And I think a lot of this stuff gets halted and stopped now, and it just feels more like America, freedom.
Clean fucking sweep too, dude. I mean, him going on Joe Rogan's 3 hours, him going all these Flagrant podcasts, Full Send podcasts, Impulsive podcasts, all these big podcasts, and they said the younger males voted more than they ever have in history. So it's definitely going to change the election shit from here on out. That clean sweep.
Yeah, I hope the whole Congress gets cleaned up. I don't know if Congress is electoral college. I really don't know my shit at all on this.
Me neither.
But I was worried. I thought Kamala might win. I'm pretty sure Biden cheated. I mean, but now that Biden's gone, I kind of miss him.
Do you?
He was fucking hilarious, bro. I never shared his videos, but his shit was hilarious. He didn't even respond to questions.
Sharp as a nail.
I don't know what the fuck he was saying. Hilarious videos. I kind of missed that, but I prefer to have a strong leader.
Yeah.
In Trump. So
when it comes to cooking at your house, do you do some cooking, or is it your girl who does all the cooking?
So I cook sometimes, but
throw some ramen noodles on once in a while.
I'm getting worse. Last time I cooked breakfast, I still enjoyed it, but I cooked the eggs with some cheese and salt and pepper. I thought those were decent. I burnt the shit out of the bacon.
Little burnt toast.
I do throw down on the grill.
Do you?
But my wife is an amazing cook, and she cooks quite often. We get this stuff called Freshly, and where we order, and it comes with these recipes and instructions on how to make these great recipes. And she does a phenomenal job. She really enjoys putting together a meal for her family, and I'm very grateful for my wife.
Usually have like a sweet tooth or desserts or candies ever? Or
sometimes I'll have candy or not.
Sour
it was
Patch
just
Kids
Halloween time. So sometimes. Or, a cheesecake, but that's really rare. I love salt and spice. I love fucking, carne asada, steak, wagyu, sushi. Love wasabi. I love spice and salt a lot, and salty, spicy margaritas too.
Yeah, I've never seen you really. I remember seeing you at a UFC fight week. Fuck, it was a long time ago. It was before you were even in the UFC, and you've always been a stout dude. You've never really put on a good set of tits. You don't really get that fat very often, do you?
No. One time I did. I got a little chunky because I weighed in. This was before UFC. I was 2-0 in MMA. I weighed in. I fought. It was a catch weight of 160. I weighed in 159, and I dieted for 2 months. All I ate 3 times a day was chicken breast, broccoli, and sweet potato. And the first month I had cheese on the broccoli. Second month, no cheese. I ate this shit every day for 60 days, 3 times a day. It was a bodybuilder's diet. I looked incredible. After I weighed in and I fought, in 9 days, I gained so I went from 159 to 206. And it was, what is that, like 54 pounds or something, 49 pounds or something I put on.
Mm-hmm.
And like that shit, I started having heart attacks. I was eating cheesecake wheels. I was eating wheels of cheesecake over and over and over again. I just ate this cheesecake. I was so hungry for 2 months. So I went to town and I put on all that weight, and like I was having heart attacks and shit, and I was having ED.
Erectile dysfunction.
Yeah, it was happening to me. I was like, fuck, man, fuck this. So now I just like steak. I don't eat too many carbs. If I do, it's probably sweet potato, or I'll have some rice because my wife's Mexican. She cooks rice.
If you fought in the UFC again, could you make 170?
Ugh. I've been fighting at 175 and 185, and I fought Jake at 200, which I couldn't make even. And it's a good question. I don't know. And fighting MMA at 185 would probably be really hard. Like, those guys are tall and long. They'd kick the fuck out of me, and they'd lay on top of me. But Dylan Danis at 185 would be easy work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'd be fire. Well, dude, fucking get some rest. Thanks so much for coming on. You are the man. If you're not following Mike, I'm sure you guys are following him already, but Platinum Mike Perry on Instagram. And then what's your guys' YouTube channel? What's that called?
So I have a show coming out, 6-part series. First episode airs Friday on the Dirty Boxing YouTube channel. The link is in my bio on Instagram. Maybe about a 16-minute episode. I think the episode will be really cool. There's a series about us making dirty boxing and talking and just meetings and things like that, and having conversations. And then Overdogs podcast, YouTube channel, and yeah, I just really be on Instagram messing around, man. I need to get more on TikTok. Apparently TikTok's making billions of dollars or something. They're paying it out.
Garrett, can you make sure to throw his links in the description? But dude, you know what's paying out a lot is Snapchat.
Really?
They are, dude. I don't even have a crazy following on there, and I'm getting paid daily. Sugar's making a fucking killing. Snapchat, I think, pays the most out of all the apps.
Oh wow, I gotta have my people look into that. I need to get on Snapchat, but my wife got me off of Snapchat a long time ago.
Yeah, yeah. When you have like a creator profile, then you don't have to add all the friends back. They can just follow what you're posting. But yeah, it can get you in a little trouble for sure.
Yeah, no, I don't want that.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna have my people look into it. I'll have to check out Snapchat. I really appreciate your time today, Tim. Thanks so much, man. I wanted to get a few things out there. And this was a great spot to do it on, man.
Well, that's that. That's some exciting stuff coming up. That dirty boxing rule set seems interesting, bro. So you can elbow. They're 5-ounce gloves. You can elbow. Once you drop them, I wonder how many seconds you get on the ground where you can land a couple juicers until they stand you back up. No kicks. So literally punches, elbows, and a few ground and pounders.
Just like a street fight, basically.
It's pretty fire.
Yeah.
Pretty fire.
I would be interested to know what their feeder system looks like into a organization like that.
Yeah, dude, putting on a fucking promotion and organization is just, there's just so much shit that goes into it. But for Mike Perry, I don't know if anyone's gonna fight him bare knuckle.
No, that's what I was thinking too. I was like, when it comes to names for Mike Perry and bare knuckle, it's like very, very limited. It would be like some of the PFL Bellator guys that kind of fell off in the mixer.
Or who's that guy who smashed the tomato in Joe Riggs's face? That Jack Black guy. That's an option, but I think those guys are heavier, 205-ish, and bigger dudes. But it seems like old Mike Perry's doing good, and it seems like him getting released from the UFC was the best thing for his career. He fucking just exploded in the BKFC.
Yeah, no, he definitely did. And honestly, it seemed like better after watching that interview is that he had the things outside of the octagon, outside of the ring that he had in check, like his situation with the police. It seems like he's reconciled a lot for that. And
yeah, I wanted to ask if he was. I mean, why he was being so aggressive. Was it the whiskey? But I didn't want to like talk about the drinking.
Yeah, we know exactly what it was.
Maybe he wasn't drinking. You never know. But I'm sure they're battling that. What else we got? Did we have any special MMA news to talk about? What is it?
We got a quick shout out to my boy. I know you guys love it when I talk about him. This weekend, Gerald Mearshart, the best. He's fighting De Ridder, the former ONE FC or double champion.
And what's going to happen in that bout?
And in that fight, De Ridder is a first-round grappler. He has about a round where he goes super aggressive for his submission, but then it'll be just like every other Gerald Mearshart fight where, guys, if you're sharp here, we're laying down the Gerald Mearshart submission, and we're going over 1.5 rounds. He's going to take that in the later rounds. He's going to take his neck. He's going to choke him out when he quits.
Damn. Okay, so we got Dustin Poirier has been linked to a fight with Colby Covington, which he reportedly turned down despite an offer for a substantial pay increase, showing the complexities of fight negotiations and career decisions. Oh, okay, so it said Dustin may have turned down Colby. I mean,
I don't think so. I think it would be probably the other way around.
Colby turned down Dustin.
Because they were looking to book originally Ian Garry versus Colby for that end of the year card in I think it's Florida, right? The last card of the year. But they ended up doing Ian Garry versus Buckley. But they had offered that to Colby originally. So I know they're offering Colby fights. Poirier was offered, I think, Gaethje again for a trilogy fight.
What about Gaethje Colby? Well, 55,
no way
70,
that Colby
50.
would take that fight.
You don't
Gaethje's been calling for that fight for years too. He said he'd beat the lips off of Colby.
You think Colby would say no to that fight?
I think so, honestly.
I don't think.
I think Colby's a small welterweight, and when you look at the size of Justin Gaethje, he'd fill out a welterweight frame just as well as Colby.
I do think they're probably pretty similar size. Like seeing Colby Covington, it doesn't look like he walks around over 185.
Yeah, and at the same time, we've never seen anyone hold down Justin Gaethje other than Khabib when he submitted him.
Yeah.
So it would be interesting for sure.
Oh no! So Colby Covington says that the UFC has offered Dustin Poirier to fight him. Most recently on the co-main event, 309, the UFC has approached me with the fight. Dustin was even going to get a pay raise double, and he still turned it down. I mean, it's hard to say. It's hard to say when you read stuff like that. But it's like, dude, Colby, I mean, the motherfucker, especially in the gym. I've heard about him. One of my best friends was his training partner at Oregon State, and he just has this gas tank that can go and go and go. And if he scores on you in the first round, and if he puts his weight on you, he's going to wear you out.
But it's just getting to the point where it's like, how long is too long for Colby? Now, it was getting to a point where I saw on Twitter the other day that Zabit Magomed has more ranked wins in the UFC currently than Colby, and Zabit's last fight was in 2019.
Yeah.
So it's like, at one point, does his 2-year expiration window just go out the door? And they're just like, Colby, you got to start fighting your way up through the ranks again.
Ian Garry, Joaquin Buckley. Joaquin, it's weird because how tall is he?
It's about 5'9", 5'10".
5'9", but springy, fucking little ball of muscle, very explosive. I'm curious how that fight goes with him and Ian Garry.
It's really interesting because Ian Garry's shown the ability to get, or not the ability, but the lack of ability where he's been hit in fights versus lesser competition. Mm-hmm. And if he gets hit with those shots versus Buckley, it might be a rough night, especially with the just explosions too.
Yeah.
But Ian Garry's springy too.